Hey, what is going on? In this video, I'm going to share with you the 3 different ways that you can be using sales calls, client calls, customer calls to be able to create better content, copy with your sales and marketing assets, and then also how that can guide your sales process. And I'm going to provide you a third use case that's actually going to help you be able to help with your go-to-market and being able to understand and identify your customer. So my name is Ryan, and I help build AI systems to help companies with their go-to-market. And so I have this diagram here. What I'm going to be walking through is how you can do it all with Claude Code and how easy it's going to be able to set this up and have it running for you automatically. Just wanting to give you the visual on what's going on behind the scenes here, and we can walk through it together. So essentially the main idea is that you have a ton of sales call data, or you're on client calls, and you probably just have those transcripts sitting around doing absolutely nothing. And there is so much in there that I'm sure that you get so many questions that you get every single time, or maybe there's objections that you get, and on some calls you handle them extremely well because you say a certain phrase or things that resonate, and maybe there's some that you say that don't resonate as well. So it's about how can we dump as much information into a database to be able to then recognize patterns and use that to make better decisions when it comes to what resonates from a content and copy standpoint, but also how we can structure our sales process a little bit differently. So the main idea is that we're going to feed all of these transcripts to AI into this database. We're going to extract prospect language, what's resonating with them, what problems are they having, what are they objecting to. That's going to transition into LinkedIn posts, email copy, case studies. Second piece is, again, the sales process. We map objections. Where were we winning? Where were we losing? Creating that repeatable sales playbook. This could be an SOP as well. We'll get into this one in a second here. So what we're going to be walking through is that we're going to set up something where we're just going to have an automatic, whatever software or tool that you use, get that call recording, have AI do everything on the back end, processing that data, and we're going to put it into our database. So hopefully this was just for you to get your juices flowing on, oh my God, what could we be doing? If you want to be pushing out more LinkedIn content, easy way is you could have a call come in, you get insights based on what we already know about our ICP or our market. Let's make this kind of story post, objection handling post, etc. Okay, the third one is a little bit tangential. This is we want to reach out to new customers. So a big thing is getting a list of your customers today and identifying, because each one is self-reported on LinkedIn. So you might have recruiting businesses who are recruiting in the software space. So on LinkedIn, on their industry, they might be putting software and not recruiting. And you might actually recognize that pattern across your clients. Maybe you realize that, oh, my best clients are in the 1 to 20 employee range. My best clients have a director of sales, or they don't have a director of sales, or they have these 2, 3, 4, 5 specific keywords that are self-reported on LinkedIn that I didn't even know that they had. So it's all about, can we dump in all of our clients to be able into this database, recognize patterns to then reverse engineer and work backwards on who can we target that is exactly who we deliver the best results for. So that is the third use case that works extremely well. So let's go into this, because you might think that this is a huge lift and that you need to get some type of AI engineer, or this would take forever. And I'm going to walk you through how you can do this for yourself with Claude Code in natural language today. So we're going to be using a tool called Supabase, and it's right here. There's a lot of different tools out here. I recommend Supabase. It's best. It's easy. And we're going to do this and pull up Claude Code. So if you've never used Claude Code, I understand this might be a little bit intimidating, and that's why I am a proponent of just being able to do everything in natural language. So we're going to walk through this here, and the important steps here are that you create a Supabase account before going into this. And if you don't even know what to do, you could just easily ask, hey, I just created a Supabase account and I need to connect it to Claude Code here. If I were a complete total beginner, how would I do that? And it'll walk you through how to set up your project URL. All right, there we go. Get Claude Code running, add the Supabase MCP server, authenticate, verify it works. You would also need to go into your Supabase account. It would give you your project URL. You need to get your service key, your private service key, and it'll walk you through all that. So again, it tells you step by step on exactly what to do. Awesome. So here's the game plan, Claude, is that I have a wealth of knowledge or a ton of sales calls, and I want to be able to, and I also have a bunch of customer client calls as well. And what I want to be able to do is create a Supabase that extracts the transcripts from these calls and gives me a complete picture and extracts key insights on what I could do in terms of creating sales assets, SOPs, content, we'll leave it at that. And some things that I'm thinking about that I want to help extract initially are, what objections am I facing? Was there potential objection handles that resonated with the customer very well? What were the questions that they asked? Was there a way that I delivered my pitch that worked really well? What were some notable things about the client or the customer that they mentioned was a big deal for them? What was important to them? What was not important to them? I want you to think of it from and create as many columns as you can from the lens of things that would help us create LinkedIn copy, but then also if we were to create cold email copy and have messaging resonate there as well. All right, let's see what it comes up with. And we're gonna be in plan mode here just so that we can have talk back and forth with Claude to get exactly what we want to then be able to then, hey Claude, I approve this, let's go and push it live. The beautiful part about Claude Code is that it says, let me explore your existing workflows for cold email copy, LinkedIn content, transcript, and so it's already taking stuff that I've built previously to help create something that's as relevant to me as possible. That's super nice, and we're gonna let it do its thing. Although I would have liked if it just said completely from scratch, because I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, that you're gonna be doing it from complete scratch as well. So we'll give it a second here though, and we'll let it do its thing. It asks before I submit this for your approval, where your call transcript's coming from. This affects how we build the import script. It just made me the plan and did all this. Let's see what it came up with. It tells us all the things that it's going to do. Objections raised, objections handled that worked, objection handles that failed, objection categories, prospect engagement level, pitch moments that landed, key turning point, buying signals, deal breakers, risk factor, decision criteria, timeline, process, competitor strengths, pricing reaction, budget range, prospect pain points, urgency level, non-priorities, goals, emotional triggers, team structure, content. So much data that you could be extracting from your sales calls to help you understand and identify patterns. This is what I'm talking about. So let's just say that we do this, run a migration in Supabase, apply the video, same one as journal entries, RK Supabase URL. Oh, we gotta create an entirely new database. That's why you read the plan. You read the plan because it's gonna mess up and do some shit that you don't want. Now we are just gonna let it do its thing. It's gonna tell you all these to-dos, man. It's gonna tell you exactly, it's gonna walk you through step by step. Oh, we gotta create this, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this, then we're gonna do this. One thing to note is that if we pull up this, we have one base in here, one project right now. We should have another one pop up right here. That's going to be our database for holding all of these things that we were asking for. Well, actually, it just said create new Supabase project for sales call analysis. So if we just pulled it up and refresh, it should be right there. And wow, how easy was that? We can just talk in natural language and we can have it come in and do everything that we want. So we know that it's all going to be coming in And yep, so we're just gonna come back and wait for it to be done. We're ready to go, and we're just gonna talk in natural language. Hey, I have a transcript that I'm gonna copy paste here. The purpose of this is I just want to share what would be going on behind the scenes on how you would be extracting and everything here. Typically, we would use the Fathom API key to automatically get that and input it in here, but just for the purposes of this video, I'm gonna copy paste. All right, so just what I told AI, you would set up your call recorder, so every time a meeting completes, it would know, and then it would send that to this thing that's going to be doing all the extraction for us automatically. This is just to show you how we're doing it manually so that you can see the step-by-step process to know what's going on behind the scenes. To know that this is successful, we have our table here. They're all empty right now. So this table is call date, call type, recording URL, transcript source, prospect name. So this is all going to be coming in from your call recording software. This is going to be all of our data that we want in terms of the pattern recognition we want on the back end. So let's see where it's at, and it's going to do its thing, run the full import. All right, the extraction looks solid. We should see, once it completes here, we're just gonna update it. You saw there was no data in there. We're gonna update it and then, or refresh the page, and then we're gonna see some stuff in there. And then we're gonna talk about some use cases that you can do after that. All three tables populated. Let's go in here. Moment of truth. Wow, isn't that amazing? Objections raised. How's the ownership work? What do we do with these things in your account? So there's a bunch of stuff in here, And so you could have this going on repeat with all of your calls coming in. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do now is that I'm gonna show you behind the scenes on how you could leverage it for yourself by talking through it with your Claude interface, or if you are familiar with N8N and some Zapier, some of these low-code tools, how you could be utilizing this and automating all of it with AI agents. So once this is done, I'm going to pull up something for you. So that we just put in 10 more calls into the database. And what I'm going to show you here is, let's say you have Claude and you would connect your Claude to the database. You would go to connectors and you would see Supabase right here, put in your login credentials, etc. What I'm going to share with you right here is how we can, the preciseness of this. So let's do, what was the key turning point with David? Could you give me that whole key turning point phrase, or what happened? Look into my Supabase. So the purpose of what I'm showing you right here is just to show you how it collects information, how specific it can be. We'll go into another way that you can chat with your database saying, hey, what were the top objections that I faced and how can I create LinkedIn content around that? What's beautiful about this is that, and what's really beneficial is that now you can connect it to found it, key turning point. David expressed interest in the ROI numbers and the possibility of reducing the dispatch team by attrition. David expressed interest in the ROI numbers and the possibility of reducing the dispatch team by attrition. Beautiful. And now, what's beautiful about this is that you can have your intern, your content marketing team, your sales team, your partner, your co-founder, your janitor. It doesn't matter. Anyone could be talking about this, through this, all with the same wealth of knowledge. And if you wanted to put SOPs, anything, can you look in and find the top 4 or 5 objections that I got? Help me create a LinkedIn post to then, it could just be a LinkedIn post idea and give me a hook for it to alleviate and handle each objection. And here's where it gets beautiful, is where you could have, if you've watched my other videos, I like doing this in Claude Code because I have all of these files on my brand voice, my brand identity, what makes good LinkedIn content, how should you structure the headline, the hook, what's the angle. So objection 1, the AI output feels off. You can tell it's AI generated. That was more than I was hoping. Our budget's tight. My team isn't tech savvy enough for this. We've been burned by agencies before. What about sensitivity, confidentiality, the personal touch? Oh, and then it gives me the hook. The best automation system is one your team actually uses. Here's how we build for that. Address the adoption fear directly. Talk about how complexity is design failure, not a user failure. I get it. Most agencies overpromise delivers. Regulated industries think AI is an automation for them. They're the ones who need it the most. Speak directly to high trust industries like law, healthcare, finance. What about sensitivity, personal touch? They're the ones who need it the most. So this is where it gets really interesting is now if you're using Claude Code, or if you've seen my other video with using Slack bots and N8N and all of these low-code tools to string together to create AI agents, this is where then you could say, hey, here's what makes a LinkedIn post good. Here's how you think about hooks. Here's how you think about angles. Here's all the information you need about how I like to write. Here's all the information that you need about my brand and what we stand for. Here's all the information you need about who we're actually targeting. And so this is how you can create, the possibilities are endless on how you could scale this out to make sure that everyone on your team is using this. Going back to this, you can create LinkedIn content system, personalized email copy. Your team could be, it could be an FAQ. Hey, I don't remember what we were supposed to say to this objection. Can you help me out? Team SOPs and Playbooks. Possibilities are endless. Hope this was helpful. And you can use Claude Code. Even if you don't know any code or tech savviness at all, you can get up and running with complete natural language within an hour. And you could connect it to whatever software that you have to record your calls. And so much you can do here. Hope that was helpful. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you.